Alright, what's good with y'all niggas, bruh? It's Don Coolio coming at y'all with another video. In this video, coming at y'all with another Storm video, man. You know what I'm saying? I made the last Storm video and it did straight, you feel me? And a lot of people told me they wanted me to play some more Storm. So here y'all go, bro. There's some more Storm content from me. There's some gameplay. If I'm not mistaken, this from the other day. But yeah, like I said, y'all asked me to play Storm, so here I am, bro. If y'all want me to play any other games, let me know. I'll probably post a sparking video and a different game video probably later in the day, every day, or a reaction video, something like that. I'm gonna try to keep getting out 2 vids. Some days it's probably just gonna be 1. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But but yeah, though, like I said, it's just gonna be another Storm vid. So we playing against this boy Paris Product. I played a few matches against him, just letting y'all know. But yeah. If y'all seen the title of this video, I wanted to get on here and talk about kind of like a hot take, bro. You know, and I know I talked about Storm Connections before, you know, comparing it to Sparking Zero and how bad the game came out, this, that, and the third. But I'm going to be honest with y'all, bro. Like, this about to be a real hot take. So what the hot take is, I'm going to be real with y'all, bro. I think Storm Connections, when it comes to, like, just in terms of fighting and how the game plays, how it feels when you fighting online, and even if you fighting against the computer, Storm Connections is a better game than Storm 4. Changed my mind, bro. Changed my mind. I'm not gonna lie. You know, the only thing people can really say that they don't like about this game at this point, that's like in Storm 4 or that's not in Storm 4, is the armored jutsu, because it still got a few armored jutsu, and also that's really it. If I'm being honest, what else could they say? And the fact that you can pick people up off the ground. But a lot of people actually like that. A lot of people like that in certain times. Like me personally, I don't dislike it. It's not the same as on Sparking. I feel like you shouldn't be able to maybe hit people with jutsu while they're on the ground. But I mean, you can substitute that. You know, so you can substitute that. Like, you can use a resource to get away from it. So it's not as bad. Like, for example, on Sparking Zero, you have to vanish it. Like, you have to vanish it. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like a for show way to get away from that. At least on here, you have a way to get out of it, you know, so it's not as bad. And honestly, I think it's cool. You know, I think it's cool on Storm Connect. This is my opinion. I think Storm Connect, when it comes to everything online, I think Storm Connect is a much better game than Storm 4. I think Storm 4, in terms of everything else, like story, you know, of course, Storm 4 has a better story. All the other Storms have a better story. Let's just be honest, bro. Let's just be honest, right? Even though Storm Connections wasn't really supposed to be, in my opinion, even though they did advertise a story, the story mode in Storm Connections wasn't like the end all be all. You know, they did advertise it, but they really just advertised that they was finna have like all the other stories basically looped together in this game, which they did to a certain extent. You know, they didn't do it very well. You know, it was a lot of slideshows and just, it was kind of cheap looking. The new story that they made was kind of cool. You know, I can't really knock that. I played it, but you know, it wasn't nothing too crazy. But like I said, man, when it comes to like the thing that's finna actually keep people playing the game, which is the online, Storm Connections definitely is better online. It feels better. Like bro, I'm telling you right now, if I turn on Storm 4 right now, if I turn on Storm 4 right now and I try to go play online, gang, bro, I'm gonna be glitching around. It don't matter whether I'm starting it on my P5 or my P4. I'm gonna be glitching around. It don't matter what the connection is. It's gonna be something weird. It's gonna be delayed or something, bro. When I play Storm Connections, it's some matches where it's like glitchy or delayed, but them is against people with bad connections, bro. You know what I'm saying? Interesting, the game is called Storm Connections. But but nah, though, like I said, I feel as though Storm Connections is a better game online. And I know I said this in the past few videos, but like I wanted to dive a little bit more into it, right? Like, for example, this is probably my favorite thing. This is one of my favorite changes that they made from the old Storm games to this one, right? So y'all remember like the old Storm games where you like, let's say you find somebody, you know, it's gonna be like 2-3 rounds, right? If somebody beats you, right? Like, let's say you find somebody, you know, you get their health all the way down to like their last bar, but then they kill you, right? Y'all, basically that next round gonna start and they still gonna have that whole bar of health. They still gonna have that last piece of bar of health. They gonna start with that and you gonna start with a full bar of health. In my opinion, that's trash. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't like fighting. The only other fighting game I can think of that's like that is Injustice and Injustice 2. And I didn't like it on there, but I mean, it's more deal wittable on there in my opinion. But when it comes to Storm, I just never liked it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all in the comment section can agree that the new system they got is a lot better. You know, I think the fact that the health get reset each round, I think that's the way to go about it. And I hope that, like, if they do make some more Storm games which they probably not, because this one was, a letdown, if I'm being honest. They do end up making some more Storm games. Hopefully they keep that same thing. Like, hopefully they make it to where your health resets each round. If it's going to be a round-based type of thing, right? You can't compare it to Sparking, because Sparking isn't round-based. You have like 4 health bars, damn near, you feel me? 3 health bars you go through. So it's different. But yeah, like I said, that's one of the main things I think that's just way better on Storm Connections. A lot of people hate Storm Connections. I don't hate Storm Connections. If I'm being real with you, I played Storm 4, like I said, mainly for the story. When I used to go online, bro, I literally had to stop playing it, bro. Because first of all, let me put it like this to y'all, right? Let me put it like this. And I know a lot of y'all gonna agree to this. Just like y'all see me on Sparking Zero, y'all see me play singles all the time. Like, that was my main thing. I didn't play DP till y'all asked me to play it, and I hit Z rank on there as well. But y'all see me play singles primarily. So the fact that y'all seen me play singles on Sparking, that lets you know that on Storm, like Storm 3 and before, I used to only play singles. Me and my homeboys used to just run the ones the whole time. It was not no teams, bro. They had teams on that you could play, but it wasn't as emphasized as it was on Storm 4. On Storm 4, bro, that was like the game's bread and butter. It was just the team battles and the team ultimates that you could do and all this extra stuff. And I didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie, like, I didn't like it, bro. So I never really even played online as much as I should have on there. I did play it, and when I played it against people that was obviously better than me, because I didn't play it like that. But I would get on there and they'd be lagging, and they would just know how to use the team so well, and it would be so annoying, right? Now, let's fast forward to Storm Connections. Storm Connections still has kind of like that same issue where, it's too much based around team play, and like, oh, you have to have a squad, you have to have a team, like 3 characters, you have to, 2 or 3 characters. There's no singles mode, However, on Storm Connections, I don't know why, and I don't know how, but it just feels a little bit better, bro. It feels a little bit better. On Storm 4, it seemed like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, it seemed like I was just at the will of whoever I was fighting, bro. Because I was just so used to singles. But I mean, when I came to Storm Connections, it be sometimes where on Storm Connections, I fight somebody, and I'm gonna be real, I don't even be having to use my supports like that. I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I don't even have to use my supports like that. And I know you supposed to, but I don't know. Like I said, y'all let me know down in the comment section, bro. Because I know a lot of y'all was talking about how y'all didn't mess with like the new Storm games as much, simply just because it was more centered around like team-based, gameplay. And, like I said, I'm the same way. Y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all think about that. Even though, like I said, Storm Connections does have that kind of in the same way as Storm 4. I don't think it was as bad in Storm 4, though. Or as in, I don't think it's as bad in Storm Connections as it is in Storm 4. Like I said, I just don't. Like, it don't feel the same to me. Like, I was able to get on Storm Connections, figure out how to play the game, and have a good... I couldn't do that on Storm 4, bro. So I just couldn't do it. Like, it was almost impossible, bro. But yeah, like I said, that was one thing. That's one thing in Storm Connections. I guess you could say that, like, in my opinion, it feels a little bit better. Another thing I like more about Storm Connections is the fact that all your little items at the bottom reset, bro. And I feel, in my opinion, as though that's a little more true to, like, Naruto. You feel me? Like, I'm not only gonna have one fire attack. I'm not only gonna be able to knock a nigga or like break a nigga guard one time. I'm not gonna have these items only once. I'm gonna have at least a few of them, and I think it make more sense. Now, maybe it'd have been possible if it'd have been maybe more cool if it was just like a certain number that you had each game, or a certain number that you just had each round instead of it being on a cooldown. But I think a cooldown is better than it literally just being one. I feel like one is garbage. Like, you just having one of each, that's trash, bro. That's trash. Another thing that I kind of like better in Storm Connections, because it make it to where it's like, it's easier to set somebody up for certain stuff, right? For example, like on Storm 4 and Storms before that, and a lot of people do like it better in the old games, but me personally, I like it better in Storm Connections. Like the substitutions. Y'all know how, like, in the old games, when you had substitution, if you got somebody down to their last substitution, the more you would hit them, it would like bring their substitution bar up, so they would end up getting like one before it started refilling automatically, right? I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all, bro. I think I like it the way it is in Storm Connections more, because it's able, like, you able to actually get your ultimates off. You able to actually, punish people for using all their subs. I feel like in the old games you can still punish them for the most part, but it wasn't as much of a for show thing. Like, I feel as though on Storm 4 it was iffy. On Storm Connections, if you use all your subs, unless you just like hold some immaculate defense after you lose all your subs and waste time, bro, you're getting cooked. You know what I'm saying? I mess with that. You should get punished for that. It should give you openness to use your ultimate, use your supers, and, you know, just punish people for spamming the sub button. You know, that's what it's for. You know, that's something that I like better. You know, that's something that I definitely like better about Storm Connections than Stormfo. That's just my opinion. Y'all let me know that y'all agree with anything I'm saying, bro. I know a lot of y'all like Stormfo better. A lot of people in general, you know, a lot of, like, everybody from the Storm Connections, or everybody that was posting Storm Connections don't really post it no more. What I done noticed is a lot of people posting Stormfo content. You know, like, it was people that back in the day when I was playing Storm Connections that I used to watch, but they don't, like, if they are still playing Storm, they playing Stormfo. And I understand why. Like, like I said, a lot of people just prefer Stormfo over Storm Connections. And I mean, I think it's really because of how the game first came out. I'm talking about Storm Connections right now, right? When the game first came out, I will 100% put Stormfo online over Storm Connections. But as it stands right now, Storm Connections, in my opinion, online, even without just the connection stuff, is a better game online than Stormfo. That's just my opinion, bro. That's just my opinion. And if y'all want to debate it, we can debate it in the comment section. This is a good discussion we can have. I ain't gonna lie, I'll respond to all y'all comments, bro. I will respond to every single one. But yeah, like I said, I don't even, if I'm being honest, I think it's pretty solidified, if I'm keeping it a being with you. I don't understand how it's even at this point. Like I said, I feel as though people might have complained about, like, maybe the, you know, like the chakra cancel. Like, if somebody dashed at you, you know, you could basically spam it. Not spam it like how you can with Perception on Sparking Zero, but you could use it and you wouldn't lose no chakra for it. You wouldn't do it. Nothing would happen to your chakra meter for you. Like on Storm 4, if you use the chakra cancel, the chakra guard cancel, whatever you want to call it, it would literally take almost the majority of your chakra meter away to where you couldn't charge up. No, you couldn't charge past a certain point. They brought that back in Storm Connections, and in my opinion, they did it better because it doesn't take as much. It should take some, but it shouldn't take as much. You know what I'm saying? I feel as though if it's taking too much, bro, it's like, bro, so I'm just gonna sit here and have to stay in this chakra dash war with this nigga the whole match. Me personally, I don't like doing that, bro. Like, I sit here and I have a chakra dash war with you for a second, but at some point, nigga, you finna get hit with something, nigga. We ain't just finna keep doing this the whole time. You feel me? Like, I might mix it up and throw in a Chidori. I might mix it up and do a fireball juice. I might do something. Like, if I'm being honest, one thing that I think a lot of people don't think about is the armored jutsu. Like, a lot of people hated the armored jutsu, right? A lot of people hated the armored jutsu, but in my opinion, the armored jutsu was terrible at first, right? It was terrible, but it was simply because whenever you started, when you did the startup for the jutsu, you automatically had armor off rip, right? You had it off rip. Now they took that away. You don't have it off rip anymore. You get it at a certain point, which I think is still good, because you want to know why? I think one of the reasons why they made it to where jutsus had armor was because they seen people just spamming chakra dash. So they was like, I want to give people another way out of just sitting here spamming the chakra dash every single chance they get. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think. And I think that they messed it up at first. However, I think the way it is right now is almost perfect, bro. It's almost perfect. It's only like a few jutsus that I say need tweaking. Like, I don't think that Kid Sasuke's Chidori should be unblockable. I don't know whose idea that was. Why is that unblockable? That's one of the only things I have a problem with when it comes to that stuff. But armored jutsus in general, as they stand right now, I agree with it. I think they should be armored, because I find myself in a lot of situations where I'm fighting against somebody and it literally just comes down to who can chakra dash the fastest. That's literally what it comes down to. And it's like, nah, if I can throw in a Chidori or Rasengan or some type of move in right here to stop them from spamming that and make them think twice before they do it, I'm gonna do that, and I should be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And even if it's not off purely the startup, once I have it sitting there for like a half a second or a second, you know, they shouldn't be able to knock me out of that by dashing at me. I think that's very trash, you know? So yeah, that, you know, like I said, a lot of people had a problem with that. I don't have a problem with it right now. I think the way Storm Connections is right now, I think that's like the best. It's the best Storm online game we have today. Like I said, the game launched in a terrible state. It had a lot of audio problems. Like, some of the voice actors was saying that some lines that they did wasn't them, this, that, and the third, you know. And like I said, it came out with a lot of problems. The story mode, trash, you know. I'm just being honest, story mode was trash. It wasn't as good as advertised, you know. They didn't put a lot of things in there that should have been in there, you know. And they did that throughout the Storm series in general. Like, in the first Storm game, I didn't know it till I went back and played it. I think early last year, I had played the first Storm for the first time, and I went in there and the Zabuza fight was not in the game. I ain't gonna lie, like, that right there kind of irritated me, because that was literally like one of the most crucial moments in Naruto. Like, I don't watch Naruto a countless amount of times, right? I done watched that too many times, bro. So I know how big an impact that Zabuza fight was, the Land of Waves arc. That was probably that's probably like a lot of people's favorite arc of Naruto. Like not Shippuden, but like regular Naruto. If we being honest, it was literally that was like that was a real tear-jerking like moment. That was a real moment where like you felt the emotions, you felt the intensity of the moment. You know what I'm saying? That was your first real experience with that, and for them not to put that in the first Storm game, I just feel like that's kind of goofy. You know, that was literally one of the most crucial moments in there. In my opinion, that's just me being honest, bro. That's just me being honest. But yeah, like I said, man, they done left a lot of things out of the Storm game, so I'm not gonna hold it too much against Storm Connections for not putting certain things in there. I mean, like at the end of the day, I mean, like I said, they did advertise it as it was finna have every single thing from the story in it. They advertised it as some, 20th anniversary game, and I think that's really all it was, bro. Like, I think the online on there is definitely better than all the last games, at least right now. But I think this game was made simply to capitalize on the 20th anniversary of Naruto. That's my opinion. That's what I think, and I'm gonna stand on it, bro. I was watching some video and he basically explained it. I forget what the nigga name is, but he was talking about it, and I was like, dang, bro, that makes sense, bro. That makes sense. That's why the game came out so rushed. You know what I'm saying? That's why Sparking Zero came out rushed, because they was trying to come out before Daima came out, or at least that same week, so that they could capitalize on Daima. They could capitalize on putting Daima Goku in the game. You know what I'm saying? That's why they did that, and that's why they be failing. I can guarantee you right now that the game, that Sparking Zero probably, and at first I used to think that, dang, maybe they was just seeing a lot of YouTubers talk about the Tenkaichi games and this, that, and the third. But really, I don't think that's what it was. I think they really just was trying to figure something out to capitalize off the Daima anime that was finna come out, and that's what they did. I think that's what they did, bro. I think that's exactly what happened. The same way they made games to capitalize off the success of Dragon Ball Super, like Xenoverse and Fighters. That's all that was just games to capitalize off that, and that's all Sparking Zero was, a game to capitalize off that as well. That's why the mystery character was Goku Daima. Like they did add all these other characters in, like Beast Gohan and stuff, but like I said, bro, in my opinion, it just seemed rushed. Both of the games seemed very rushed. Like the same problems that came out when Storm Connections came out was the same problems that was in Sparking Zero at the end of the day. So that's in my opinion, that's what I think the real main issues were when it came to this game. But aside from that, like I said, right now, this game is online. I can't say it's perfect, bro, because like you can still get on here and spam juice. That's one thing that I do think is a little bit worse in this game, is the jutsu spam. Because people can just sit back and they meter just charge up, they chakra bar just charge up for the longest time, and then they can just keep spamming jutsu, And I think that's probably like the only thing I can say about the online that I really don't like. That's probably one of the things I hate the most. Like I ran into somebody, and I think I got the clips. I'm gonna probably post it tomorrow. I might post it tomorrow. But I ran into somebody, bro. Man, when I tell you, this nigga was literally just literally running behind trees, just charging up, trying to run away from me so he could spam jutsus, bro. I'm like, bro, why? And this the thing, bro. This man was on a streak, bro. This man was on like a 5-6 game win streak, if I'm not mistaken. I got the clips for y'all tomorrow, bro. But the nigga was on like a crazy win streak, bro. So that mean that like, and the crazy thing is, I think that's how majority of people play this game. I think majority of people play this game and just spam like that because they are given the ability. And it ain't really no different from Sparking Zero. Majority of people get on that game and just do cheesy and cheap stuff because they're given the ability to. There's nothing stopping them from doing it. And I think like I said, I think that these games, Sparking Zero and Storm Connections, have a lot of things similar, when it comes to certain stuff. I think it was a lot of stuff that was similar with both of these games. Am I saying that Storm Connections is a better game than Storm 4? Hell no, right? Is the online play better? Yes. But does that mean that the game as a whole is better? No. If I had to say which one I'm taking, like at the end of the day, I'm taking Storm 4. It's a better game. But if I had to choose one to play online, I might just go with Storm Connections. You feel me? I'm just being honest. I might I might get on Storm 4. Maybe that'll change my mind, bro. Y'all let me know down in the comments if I'm bugging or not, bro. I don't think I'm bugging. We gonna have to have some arguments in the comments. We gotta have some debates, bro. Because there was a lot of people in my last Storm video that was like, bro, honestly, I like Storm Connections. That's like that's basically my favorite one. So I'm not alone in this, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that's a lot of people that mess with Storm Connections. Does that mean that it's actually better than the rest of them? That is not what that means. But it's people that prefer Storm Connections. in certain ways, and I'm one of those people. That's just me being honest. But I'm not gonna be delusional and say it's a godly great game. Like, no, I'm not gonna say that. That'll be very delusional. But yeah, man, like I said, y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all think about the stuff I was saying in this vid. I hope y'all enjoy this shit. I appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. And Don Coolio out, bruh.